What if Naruto is a laboratory experiment in the world of Bleach? Chapter 2. Let's start, guys.
Impressive. Naruto. You are now ready. Well, if you think I'm ready, let's unveil the curtains that hide the darkness. Who exactly are you? Naruto asked with an annoyed glare. Very well. The cloaked man said as he lifted his hands and took off the hood to reveal a man that looked to be in his early to mid 30s. He had tan skin with amber eyes. The most striking feature was flowing silver hair that reached over his shoulder blades. My name is Zemnas. Naruto tilted his head at the name. Zemnas, he repeated. The now named Zemnas smiled. Ah, so you can hear my name. Excellent. Then we can move forward without delay. So if you are the spirit that embodies my ethereal blades, where are the other spirits that embody my other weapons? Naruto asked. Zemnas smirked. You are about to meet them. Come now. It's time we all had a chat. Suddenly Zemnas clapped his hands together as a brilliant bright flash envy. Him and Naruto, who covered his eyes to avoid the blinding light. When Naruto regained his senses to see himself in the same chamber he saw in his dreams. And all around him were 20 figures surrounding him with two exceptions. Was Zemnas and the other was an elderly man that looked to be in his late 80s to early 90s. He had dark tan skin with golden eyes, a bald head with blue veins visible up his scalp and a silver goatee. The elderly man was looking down at him with a smirk as amusement danced in his eyes. I really do have 20 spirits residing within me, Naruto mumbled to himself. Seeing was believing. Indeed. It has been years since our last talk. Do you remember me, boy? Asked the elderly man. Naruto nodded. Yes. You're the one that spoke to me when I fought Grand Fisher. You're the one that allowed access to my first Keyblade. Quote. The old man nodded. That's right. He raised his arm as in a dark flash, a familiar silver and black Keyblade appeared. This is no name. The first Keyblade you unlocked. It's your strongest Keyblade currently, and one of the strongest weapons at your disposal. Tell why did you or anyone else try to connect after that? Why wait so many years to allow me entrance into my inner world? Was this some kind of test? Naruto asked. Yes. I told the others that we wait to make contact with you. You had plenty of teachers to learn from and we could wait patiently to seek you out. And I say, you have grown quite nicely without our guidance, Naruto. The old man replied. TCH. He's still a brat in my eyes. An annoyed voice spat. Naruto turned to the voice, which happened to be from the 12th seat. The figure removed her hood to female in her late teens to early 20s with green eyes and jaw-length blonde hair that was slicked back with two strands styled into an antenna-like appearance. Naruto raised an eyebrow to her. Excuse me. She clicked her teeth in annoyance. You heard me, brat. This a waste of time. You may act tough, but deep down you're a weak child that whimpers over everything that's happened to him. Hell, you became a frozen rabbit when that stupid hollow turned into your little girlfriend. Pathetic. Naruto felt several veins begin to pop on his head. He willed himself from outbursting as he knew that was what she wanted. An idea then popped into his head. Did she rile him up? Well, two can play that game. Wow. Who pissed in your cereal today? Or are you acting like such a bitch because it's your time of the month? What was that, you brat? The girl screeched in outrage. What? I thought you would want someone that has the backbone to talk smack back. You would prefer I get angry and not retort back. Or maybe try to attack you in a rage. Sorry to burst your bubble, but I am not gonna take your shit lying down. So if you got a problem with me, we can settle this outside if you wish. For several tense seconds, the two glared at one another before the girl smirked at Naruto. Oh, aren't you cute? Naruto smirked back. Bitch, I am adorable. Ha. We found someone that could snark her back. A male voice said on the 9th seat. If you ask me, it's about time we have someone besides the big bosses to keep her line. Another male voice said from the 8th seat. What the hell did you say? The girl roared as she glared at the two who spoke, who shrugged in response. Naruto decided to play mediator before a fight could break out in his head. Now let's all calm down. I don't need any of you starting a fight in my head. I would wrath get a migraine from this. So I would like it if you guys could at least maintain civility with one another. And if you want to vent your frustrations, then you can go into the sea. Settle your differences. The three grumbled before compiling, though the girl muttered several insults before staying silent. Naruto sighed before turning to the rest of his audience. Now then, do anyone else have a grievance against me that they want to say to me? You are still too naive. Naruto turned to the voice. The figure lifted his cloak to reveal a man that appeared to be in his 20s. He has long, wavy blue hair with top a little more wild. The most striking features were his pointed ears, amber eyes, and an X-shaped scar on his face. What do you mean by that? Naruto asked. Your sentiments to that girl leave you blind. And your desire to protect your siblings leaves you vulnerable. Aizen will know this and exploit that weakness against you. Your love towards them will be your downfall. I am well aware that Aizen knows where he can strike me to hurt me. Do you think I have not considered Aizen turning Namine against me, or worse, turning her into one? Little experiments. Those thoughts have haunted me ever since I came to Karakura. Something you should all be aware of. But I couldn't dwell on them as nothing would see. If I did, Namine would still be trapped and I would be here without the power to save her. So all I can do right now is get as strong as I can become and prepare for the woe. When I confront Namine and Aizen again, what will you do if he does indeed turn her against you? The blue-haired man asked. I will stop her and then I will make Aizen pay for what everything he has done to me, Namine, and my family, Naruto said in a resolute tone. The blue-haired teen shook his head. Do you think it would be so simple? If you go into a battle with that idealistic naivety, you will fail. Naruto rolled his eyes. I am well aware of that. You're right. Alone, I will fail. But if we, all 20 of you, work together with me as a true team, we can accomplish anything. And if that is still not enough to save Naim or stop Aizen, then we'll have Ichigo and the others on our side. Naruto turned to address all of them. If we can work together and have others to back us up, then we can win this war. Whether it's saving Namine, Aizen, or Yhwach. And what if you are wrong? Naruto turned back to the blue-haired individual. There's no point in worrying about what ifs. All they do is cloud your judgment and Kato second-guess yourself. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Until then I will train to get as strong as I possibly can to be ready for anything or anyone that is throw way. The teen regarded him for a few seconds before nodding in satisfaction. Very well. That's acceptable. Xemnas was the next to speak. Now Naruto, have you noticed something about your power? Naruto nodded. Yeah, I noticed it a few months before Rukia arrived here. I reach a plateau in my power. I didn't feel myself getting stronger. I felt so stagnant. Xehanort asked as Naruto nodded. Yes. I realized that the only way to break this wall was to enter my inner world and meet my spirits. But I couldn't enter. You wished to wait for our meeting. Xehanort nodded. Yes. We watched you progress in these years you have trained with your mentors. You have grown strong on your own, but the time has come for that to end. It's time for us to truly make a connection. Now say our names. Naruto, Xehanort ordered as Naruto looked at the first figure. Vanitas, the shadow of hatred. A boy that was in mid-teens with black spiky hair with slightly pale skin and golden yellow eyes. Riku, the dark heart of flames. A boy that looked to be in his late teens with pale skin, shoulder-length silver hair, and bright blue-green eyes. Terra, the lingering will. A tall muscular young man that looked to be in his 20s. He had brown hair that reached the base of his neck with messy, vertical spikes and bangs that frame his face. He has light tan skin with blue eyes. Xian, the key of fate. A young girl similar in age to Naruto, to bright blue eyes, pale skin, and short black hair that reached her chin with some of it tucked behind her rig. Naruto noticed that the girl reminded him of Namine. Roxas, the key of destiny. A boy similar in age to Naruto with similar eyes. He has golden blonde hair that's spiky, as the front concentrates the spikes on the right side. Head as if windswept, while the back is smoother and flakier. Lerxine, the savage nymph. The girl with the attitude, Naruto mused. Marluxia, the graceful assassin. A tall feminine man with shoulder-length rose pink hair with ruffles and dark blue eyes. Luxord, the gambler of fate. A man with platinum blonde hair cut to a Cesar style with a blonde goatee, blue eyes, and 5 piercings on each ear. Demix, the melodious nocturne. A teen that's a little older than Naruto with green eyes and dirty blonde hair that's in a mullet style with a few bangs falling over his face. Axel, the flurry of dancing flames. A tall man with a slender appearance that looked similar in age to Sakes. He had thick, shoulder-length red hair that was styled into schlee. Back spikes and emerald-colored eyes with 2 purple reverse teardrops markings under each eye. Sakes, the lunar diviner. The older teen he spoke to before. Zexion, the cloaked schemer. Another teen with a slim build with aqua-colored eyes and steel blue hair with long layered bangs that cover the right side of his face. Lexius, the silent hero. A man who was easily the largest person from all the others. He had Ongul, AR, strong features with a square chin, straight nose, blue eyes, small eyebrows, and auburn hair slicked back into messy spikes. Vexen, the chilly academic. A middle-aged man with long platinum blonde hair with 2 bangs framing his face and has bright green eyes. Zaldin, the whirlwind lancer. A broad-shoulder man with violet-colored eyes, black hair styled into dreadlocks tied into a ponytail with bushy eyebrows and thick sideburn. Zigbar, the freeshooter. A man with an eye patch covering his right eye with the other eye being golden yellow, pointy ears, upturned eyebrows, and dark hair with gray S. That was tied into a ponytail. Young Xehanort, the Phantom of Time. A young man that looked to be around 18 to 20 years old. He had mildly tanned skin, golden eyes, and silver hair that slightly and falls past his shoulders in the back with 4 bangs framing his face. Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness. A well-toned man with similar eyes to Xemna's, with a dark tan skin tone with long silver hair with 3 spikes on top and on the sides. Head. Xemna's, the superior of the in-between. The source of his ethereal blades. Master Xehanort, the master of masters. The wielder of the first keyblade he used and the leader of all the other spirits and the master of all the other abilities. They all smirked acknowledgement before Naruto's vision was covered by a white flash. Naruto gasped as he opened his eyes. He looked around to see himself back in Urahara's training arena. He shook his head as he slowly got up, though he stumbled a bit. His legs falling asleep. Whoa, that was a thing, Naruto muttered to himself as he looked down at his hands as he focused on his Raryoku. Something had changed. Wow, everything feels so different, so clear. Is this what happens when someone connects with their Zanpakuto? He asks in wonder. Hey, Naruto. Naruto was cut from his musings as he turned to see his brother approaching him. What's up, Ichigo? Was Urahara too rough for you? Naruto asked with a playful smirk. Ichigo rolled his eyes. Hardly. Actually, he told me to tell you it's your turn to help with my training. Naruto blinked. Wait, how long has it been since we started? Ichigo scratched the back of his head. About an hour or 2. Maybe 3, I think. Time is weird here. The blonde's eyes widened in surprise. Holy shit. I was really out of it for a while. Naruto then noticed his brother staring at him. Are you alright? You look different. Ichigo asked. Naruto tilted his head in confusion. How so? I don't know how to explain it. You seem to be glowing. Naruto blinked a few times before chuckling. Hey, I have a story to tell you and our godfather. Come on. Naruto replied as he and his brother walked back to the staircase. Entrance of the arena. Meanwhile, are we almost there? Tatsuki replied in annoyance. Their group had been walking for some time and she was getting sick of how far they were going. She normally would complain about walking through trails like this, but she also wouldn't be normally looking for someone either. Hence her annoyance at her current predicament. Yeah, I can feel it. We are getting close. Orihime cheerfully replied as he continued walking up the trail. Orihime's sensory abilities have developed fast. Chad complimented. While he had some grasp at his abilities, his sensory prowess still needed some work. Tatsuki chuckled as he looked at the ginger-haired girl ahead of them. She was always a special case. Suddenly Orihime stopped as she reached a clearing in the trail they were following. She turned and waved at her friends. There he is. Everyone soon reached her as the looked out into the clearing to see a familiar Quincy by a waterfall. Hey, are you? Orihime called out. You turned to the voice. Orihime. Tatsuki. Sato. What are you all doing here? He asked in complete confusion. Well, we were looking for you, Tatsuki replied with her arms crossed. You blinked in confusion. What for? He asked as the three looked at one another before looking back at you. Well, it goes something like this. Tatsuki began as explained everything to you. You stayed silent as he contemplated everything he heard. I see. So Ichigo and Naruto plan to go into the Soul Society to save Rukia. Orihime nodded. That's right. And the three of us plan to join them. You looked unconvinced. Not to be rude, but how exactly will you all help them? He asked in a SK tone. We awoke our powers when we were attacked by those hollows you summoned when you and Ichigo had your little pissing contest. Orihime innocently replied with every else sweat dropping at her blunt explanation. You flinched. Right. He still remembered the scolding he got from Naruto after the fiasco with the Manos Grande. He was almost as bad as his mother, and the lecture her was not something he liked to remember at all. Besides, Yoruichi has been training us. And she is a strict teacher. Orihime cheerfully said. Yoruichi. You asked in confusion. He did not see anyone else with them. So who was Orihime referring to? That would be me. A voice replied. You followed the voice and came face to face with a black cat with golden yellow eyes. Hello, I'm Yoruichi. The cat replied as he waved her paw. Ah, a talking cat. No way. You exclaimed in shock. Oh come on, it's not that weird. Orihime insisted. Well, compared to hollows, a talking cat is a bit out there, Tatsuki replied. I still find it a bit weird, Chad said in a quiet tone. So we're wondering if you could join our training session, Orihime asked. You sighed before standing up. Forgive me, but I will have to decline. Chad, Tatsuki, and Yoruichi stayed silent as they expected the response. Orihime looked confused and annoyed. But why? We're all training to save Rukia. The ginger girl protested. You shook his head. That's where you're wrong. I am training to get back at those Shinigami. I don't have any connection to Rukia like the rest of you. You turned from the group as he walked back to the riverbank he was standing near when the others arrived. Now I would like to ask you all to leave so I may train in private. He politely said. Yoruichi sighed, knowing this was the expected outcome. Well, you heard it. Time for us to go. But, Orihime began but was cut off by the black cat. Now, Orihime. We can't force him to join us. But if you plan to go to Soul Society, you'll need this. You turned to ask what the cat meant when he caught a book that was thrown to him by Chad. He looked at them. What's this? A journal detailing everything you need to know about Soul Society, including the Shinigami that beat you along with others that have similar rank and some of their ability. Naruto specifically wanted everyone that's going to Soul Society to read this so you'll be prepared for anything. Yoruichi explained. Ryu's eyes widened. This was extremely valuable as it would prepare for anything he could expect. I appreciate this gesture and tell Naruto he has my thanks, he says in gratitude. Yoruichi nodded. Alright then. Let's go back to our training. I hope we see you again. Orihime said one last time before walking off with the others. Ryu sighed as he bent down to the box in front of him. Sorry, Orihime. I can't have any of you see what I am about to train with. He opened the box as blue glow emitted from it. Unknown to Ryu, two individuals were watching him. Saraiti. What should we do, old man Yama? Kiraku asked his mentor commander. Do you honestly think those boys would invade Soul Society for one girl? A skeptical Soy Fan asked. The squad captain of Squad 8 shrugged. Why not? Those two seem adamant about saving her. Tucson scoffed. Then they will fail as waging war with us would be suicide. I wouldn't be so sure, Aizen replied. Are you suggesting they could win? An incredulous Soifan asked. Aizen shook his head. No. I am suggesting that we should not underestimate them, as Naruto seems to know a lot about Soul Society. Not to mention that Ichigo Boy Unlo his Shikai in a short amount of time. Kuchiki Taicho nearly received a fatal injury if Naruto was trying to harm him. We need to be ready for when they come. Yamamoto finally had enough of this nonsense and slammed his cane to the ground. Enough. The first captain bellowed. After seeing the other captain's silence, he conned. We will not allow the boasts of a child to discourage and rile us so easily. You are to go back to your regular duties. If they come here to save Rukia Kuchiki, then we will them the full force of the Gote 13. Now then, dismiss. As the captains walked out, nobody noticed the sinister smile that formed around Aizen's lips. I can't wait to see you again, Naruto. Urahara's shop. Ah, that was a good bath. Naruto said as he walked out of the bathroom. How are you feeling, Naruto? Urahara asked as he came around the corner. Naruto shrugged. Feeling better than ever. Where's Ichigo? Urahara smirked. Still training with the spiritual sphere. Naruto sighed in annoyance. Oh boy. You and your antics. Urahara waved his fan. Oh, don't be so mean. I gave him some advice before I left him. Naruto raised an eyebrow. Which was? Urahara smirked in response. The one Isshin used to tell me was something done in the Shiba clan. Suddenly the two felt an incredible spiritual pressure from the bosom. Arena. What the? Naruto's eyes narrowed as he knew what was going on. Shit, that idiot. Naruto cursed as he rushed down to the arena with Kazuki right behind him. When they arrived, they were shocked to see Ichigo levitated in the air covered in a giant sphere of spiritual energy. Damn. Naruto and Urahara said in unison. Ichigo, get your Reiatsu under control before you level this entire building. Naruto shouted to his brother. Ichigo seemed to have heard his brother as the ball of Reiatsu began to slowly shrink as the building stopped shaking so much. Once the sphere became regular size and stable, Ichigo turned to his two new observers. Look guys, I did it! Ichigo exclaimed cheerfully. However, Naruto and Urahara instantly got concerned. Don't lose focus. The two exclaimed. Ichigo blinked before several cracks appeared around the sphere before exploding. All the two could hear then were Ichigo's screams of pain. Didn't I tell you if you don't focus then the sphere will explode in your face? Urahara lectured while he fanned his face. Sorry, Ichigo muttered as he slowly got back to his feet. Urahara clapped his hands together. Anyway, now that's settled. It's time for you two to take a break for now. We'll pick this up tomorrow. The two boys nodded as they go get some sleep. Though the night was only starting for Ichigo. Later that night, Ichigo's inner world, what the how did I get here? Ichigo asked himself. I called you here Ichigo. Ichigo turned to see the spirit of his Zanpakuto a few feet away from him. Zanjetsu, what's going on? You are progressing with your training, but you know it's not enough, correct? Ichigo sighed before nodding. Yeah. Urahara said he can only teach me the fighting style of a Shinigami, but not to use my blade. He means if I want to learn to wield Zanyu have to be the one to teach me. The spirit nodded. That is correct, Ichigo. If you wish to truly wield me, I will train you to do so. Wait, how will I get any rest if I constantly train? Ichigo asked in concern. Do not worry, Ichigo. While you are training here, your body is resting and thus you'll feel refreshed when you wake up. Ichigo sighed in relief. That's good. So how do you plan to train me Zanjetsu? The same as usual, he asked. Zanjetsu hummed. We will spar and I will teach the special power of this blade, but you will be fighting someone else. Someone more unpredictable. Ichigo looked confused. What do you woe? He began to ask before he shouted as he jumped back as something crashed into the area he was standing in. Who the hell are you? Ichigo demanded as he unsheathed Zanjetsu. I'm hurt you don't know me, Ichigo. But that's to be expected I guess. A distorted voice replied. When the smoke cleared, Ichigo's eyes widened. What the hell? He said in shock. Standing before him was another Ichigo with noticeable differences. One was that Hishihakusho was white, his skin and hair bleached white, and the eyes that were golden yellow with black sclera. The most noticeable difference was instead of a scowl, he cocky, maniacal grin on his face as he twirled a blade near identical to Zangetsu, except the colors were swapped, and swinging it around in the air. What's up, partner? The doppelganger said. Naruto and Ichigo sighed as they stared at the night sky from the open window in Ichigo's bedroom. They were waiting for Urahara's signal that was supposed to show up. What time is it? Naruto asked. Ichigo looked at his watch. Almost 1 in the morning. Urahara said to keep it open at 1. Any idea what we're supposed to expect? Ichigo asked. Naruto grunted. It's our godfather. Who knows what the hell he is thinking? Both brothers groaned before a sudden rubber ball flew into the room as it went past them, slammed into the wall and splashed what looked like blood on the wall. What the? The two exclaimed before the red liquid spilled to the ground as a message began to be revealed. Please meet at the Urahara shop, immediately. Are you kidding me? This looks like a last message found in a murder scene. Naruto exclaimed in annoyance and anger. Murder scene. Screw that. I hate to see how Mom and Yuzu will react to this. Ichigo retorted in equal anger and shock. P.S. If you look at this message and think that it is the message of a dead person in a murder scene, then you have no sense of humor. Piss off. The two brothers exclaimed in unison as they threw pillows at the message. The two quickly, but quietly got downstairs as they put on their shoes and walked out of the house. As they began walking away, a voice called out to them. Wait up, UT. The two turned to see Isshin standing in front of their house. Dad? Ichigo asked. What's up? Naruto asked. Isshin then tossed 2 charms to his son. I am giving this to you too. Both of the Kurosaki teens looked at the teens in confusion. What are these? Ichigo asked. Good luck charms from your mother and myself. We've had those since we got together. Then why the hell are you giving it to us? The 2 teens exclaimed. Shut it, you brats. It's a promise that you two will return safe and healthy. Now take it and get your asses going. An annoyed Isshin replied. Alright. Geez. Ichigo grunts as he and Naruto take the charms and begin walking out. Naruto. Hold up. Isshin called out to his second son. Naruto stopped as he turned to look at his father. He could tell he had something to tell him that only he should hear. Naruto turned to his brother. Go ahead, Ichigo. I'll catch up. Ichigo looked between the two before sighing. Fine. Here. Take this with you. Isshin handed Naruto a letter with an envelope. What's in this letter? He asked. If you guys meet up with a woman known as Kukaku Shiba, which in all likelihood you will, you give this to her. This will get her to help you automatically. So she's family. Naruto guessed. He knew about the Shiba members, but some names do slip him on occasion, especially since he has not thought about the members in time. She's your cousin. Naruto got a smirk from the response. Hey. Well, this will be an interesting reunion. Good luck, son. And be careful. Keep Ichigo and the others safe. Naruto nodded. I will, he promised as he began to run so that he could catch up with his brother. Isshin sighed as he gazed at the back of his son with melancholy. Suddenly he felt a pair of arms wrap around his neck and shoulders. Are you all right? His wife asked. Is. Sighed. I am worried, Masaki. Masaki hugged her husband tighter. Don't worry. Let's have faith in our kids. Isshin hummed in agreement. Yeah, you're right. Masaki began pulling Isshin back into the house. Come now. We need to prepare for when they come back and everything we plan to tell them. Right. Everything. Isshin muttered as his wife dragged him back. Meanwhile, Naruto had quickly caught up with his brother. What was that about? Ichigo asked. Dad was being his overprotective self again. Told me to keep you safe. Naruto lied. Ichigo groaned as he facepalmed. Damn it. I really wish he stopped treating me like a little kid. I am sure we'll understand when we have kids of our own, Naruto replied. I hope we don't end up like him. Ichigo groaned. Naruto waved away his brother's concerns. Relax. Orihime will act as the bubbly parent for you. Naruto teased. Ichigo nodded absent-mindedly. Right. However, Ichigo immediately realized what his brother said and what his reply was. He turned to glare at his brother, but red face. The intensity. I hate you. Love you too, bro. The brothers continued their little bickering contest before they saw two familiar people up ahead. Orihime. Tatsuki. How are you two? Ichigo asked as soon as he caught up to them. We're great. We've been training all this time. Tatsuki proclaimed as she closed her hand into a fist. Though we were told we have no sense of humor, Orihime said in a depressed tone. The three felt their eyes twitch at Orihime's sad mood. I am going to smack that idiot. When they reached the store, they could see Chad already waiting at the front of the store. Chad, you're here early, Ichigo commented. The gentle giant shrugged. I couldn't sleep, so I went out on a walk to clear my head. Then I noticed that. Everyone turned to see the same message sprawled on the SID. Everyone sweat dropped. Bloody wonderful. Naruto and Ichigo groaned in unison. Ichigo looked around to see one person was missing. Hey, where is Ishida? I thought you said he would. Naruto shrugged. I thought so as well. But it seems he is not coming. Though we kinda expected that. Kurosaki. Orihime admonished. It's no big deal, Orihime, Chad said, trying to placate the ginger-haired girl. It may be better if he doesn't come with us. Tatsuki raised an eyebrow at this. Why do you say that? He is the most complex among us. Though Naruto may beat him to that. Chad explained with a bit of humor at the end. Hey. The blonde Kurosaki snorted in amusement. But his complexity may also be why he is weak. That's why he should not come with us. Chad said. Who said I would not show up? A familiar voice spoke up. Everyone turned to see the aforementioned Quincy standing a few feet from them. Ishida. Naruto and Ichigo muttered in mild shock and relief. I told you, I will not stand being defeated by a Shinigami. So I trained until I was strong enough to make sure my next encounter with them is a victory for me. To Akiv. Victory. I don't mind going with you guys. Orihime gave a bright smile to the young Quincy. Thank you. Are you? She said cheerfully. Oi, you misunderstand. This has nothing to do with Kuchiki. Ryu protested. You're wasting your breath, Ichigo told him, much to Ryu's exasperation. Ichigo then took notice of the Quincy's attire. What up with the weird get-up, Ryu? Weird. How dare you? These are formal Quincy clothing. I think it would look better without the small cape, Naruto replied. A sudden clap got everyone's attention as they turned to see Urahara approaching them. Well then, now that everyone is here, we can now head inside. The candy owner turned around as he began to walk into his shop as he glanced back to the team. Now please listen carefully, or you guys might end up dead before you. It to Soul Society. Whoa, this place is amazing. This place reminds me of an underground base. Orihime exclaimed in excitement. She really likes this place, Ichigo muttered. I wonder if there is one like this in Seraiti. Naruto asks aloud. Tessai holds Orihime's hands with tears in his eyes. Your reaction is so good. I, Tessai, am pleased to see you appreciating my hard work. Few people do so nowadays. Everyone sweat drop at the display. Orihime seems to get along with everyone she meets in a matter of seconds. Tatsuki finally said. Before anyone else could comment. Urahara called for their attention. Everyone, come here so I can explain everything. This is the Senkaimon and it will be your doorway to Soul Society. Urahara explained as he pointed at the large square gate. Now then. Urahara began before smacking Ichigo in the head with his cane and causing his soul to come out in his Shinigami garbs. Oh, everyone, except Naruto, show awe and surprise. So that's how you change into your Shinigami garbs. Tatsuki began. This looks a bit inconvenient if you leave it lying around, Chad commented. Wow, so this is where Kon is placed into your body? Orihime asked as she poked the soulless body of Ichigo. Something like that. And why are you all touching my body? Ichigo asked in confusion. Suddenly, Kon appeared on top of Ichigo's shoulder. Yeah, quit poking it with your fingers. That will be my body for a period of time. He then turned to the girls with heart. His eyes. Though Tatsuki and Orihime can touch it. Piss off, Kon. Ichigo retorted in anger to the stuffed animal. You know he's right, Ichigo. Quiet, Naruto. Alright, now that you guys had your fun, let me explain how the gate works. Soul Society is the world of all souls, as such only souls can enter it. Ichigo's soul can enter its Shinigami form. The rest of you are not as fortunate. This is where the gate comes in. This will transform your Kishi, which makes up things in the living world, into Reishi, W. Makes up Soul Society. So this gate will turn our bodies so we don't have to separate our souls from our bodies, you commented. Urahara nodded. That's right. Ichigo narrowed his eyes. What's the catch? There was no way it could be this simple. The gateway to Soul Society will last only 4 minutes. In those 4 minutes, if you don't reach Soul Society, then you would be stuck in the Dongai. Not to mention in Dangai, there's a current called the Koryu. This is to prevent abnormalities from moving before they are disposed of. This is a risky method, but it's your safest bet to GE. Soul Society. Then what should we do? Orihime asked. A familiar black cat walked up to the group. Simple. We walk forward. Yoruichi-sensei. Orihime exclaimed happily. Going in cat form, eh? Ichigo asked. This form makes it easy to move in big groups. Plus I prefer to keep my human form on reserve until necessary, she explained. Now I need to remind you that your soul and heart are connected. If you want to succeed in going through the Senkaimon, then you have to know what your heart is think. No need to intimidate us, Godmother. There is only one path before us. And that's to go forward. Naruto said. If you lose, then you shall never return, Yoruichi warned. Then the answer is obvious. Victory is the only option. Ichigo proclaimed. Everyone nodded in agreement as Urahara and Yoruichi smirked. Well said. She said proudly. Naruto, come here for a second. Urahara called out. How are you handling them? It was a bit stiff the first day you gave them, but now I don't feel them at all. Urahara smirked. Leave it to Naruto to get used to a training method so quickly. He and his brother were legit monsters. He then frowned in seriousness. Only break them. You are hard pressed, understood. And don't forget the other part of your mission. Naruto nodded. I got it. Urahara turned to the others. Keep everyone and yourselves safe. Everyone nodded. Got it, Ichigo said as they began walking to the Senkaimon. Kan, keep my family safe, Ichigo told the stuffed animal. That was the last thing said as the group of 6 humans and 1 cat walked into the gate. In a flash of light, the group was gone. Urahara gazed at the empty gate in silence. It's all up to you two. Be careful, everyone. The trip through the Senkaimon went as expected. It went as bad as expected. And in a few seconds, no less. An impressive new feat for everyone. As they ran through they began to be chased by the Semichio. It's known as the janitor that cleans up the tunnel every 7 days, and it just so happened that day was today. Again, they're bad. Something spectacular. Boom. A large explosion caused everyone to crash land into the ground, though Orihime's shield did soften the harsh landing. Is everyone alright? Naruto asked as he got up. Oh. Ichigo and Chad groaned. Wow. Is that a new yoga pose, Ichigo? Tatsuki teased. Ichigo glared at her. She has been spending too much time with Naruto. You talk too much. He grunted as he got up. I did not expect our arrival would be so pathetic. Ryu lamented as he took off his cape and opened his jacket and brought out a brand new cape. Good thing I brought extras. Everyone who saw this sweat dropped. No comment. The teens deadpan. But everything is good because everyone is okay. Orihime cheered. Nothing is okay about the situation. Yoruichi exclaimed as she slammed her head into the ginger head's eye. Everyone flinched at the action. Ouch. At least she didn't get the claws, Tatsuki commented as the 2 brothers flinched. They had been on the receiving end of those claws on occasion. It was never pleasant. Seemed to get worse every time they received them. You're lucky it was just the shield that touched the Semichio. You could have died if the main body of Raka. The cat chastised. Sorry. A teary Orihime mumbled. Yoruichi sighed as she turned to the others. Anyway, lectures aside, we should get our bearings. This place looks so run down. Is this the Ryutama Shikai? Ichigo asked. Yoruichi nodded. That's correct. This is the outskirts of Seraiti. Over there is Terore where the Shinigami live. Ichigo then began walking forward. Let's head in. However, the ginger Shinigami was interrupted as several walls fell from the sky and landed around the Terore and close. Off. Boom. Suddenly a massive figure landed in front of Ichigo. What the hell? Ichigo asked in confusion as Naruto and Yoruichi sighed. Here we go, they muttered in unison. From the large dust cloud, a giant man rose out of it. How interesting. It's been a long time since someone tries to go through the Terrorimon without a pass. After such a time, I have something to do. Don't worry, kid. I will treat you well. The giant said with a smug grin. Yeah, like that doesn't sound ominous. Everyone thought with a sweat drop. Boom. The giant unsheathed his giant axe as he slammed it into the ground and raised the earth around them in a man-made arena. So then let's begin our battle. Attack from a angle you would like, kiddo. Who the hell is this guy? You asked. This is Jidanbu, one of the 4 guardians of the 4 gates, Yoruichi explained. How do we beat someone like this? Tatsuki asked. The black cat hummed. We use our heads now, hey wait. Yoruichi shouted as Chad and Orihime went rushing to Ichigo's aid. However, before the two could get far, the two were halted by someone hoisting them by the scruffs of their necks. Hold it, Orihime. You too, Chad, Naruto said. Before the two could retort back, Naruto spoke again. Relax, you two. Ichigo can handle this. Isn't that right, bro? At least someone has faith in me, Ichigo replied from the other side of the stone wall. Ichigo, will you be alright? Orihime asked. Don't worry, I'll be fine, Ichigo said back. Orihime turned to Naruto. Is he? She asked as Naruto rolled his eyes in amusement. Yesh, must you all have such little faith? What do you think we did for 10 days? Ichi trained with Urahara and me for all 10 days. Hell, he wasn't safe even in his own head. This confused everyone, except Yoruichi, who knew what Naruto was talking about. What do you mean? Tatsuki asked. Unlike before, Ichigo has an established connection to his Zanpakuto. You all saw a glimpse of it when he called part of its name when he injured the Manos Grande. Then, fully called it in his fight with Renji. That would be his Shikai. Orihime asked. Naruto nodded as he smiled at the ginger girl. Right, Orihime. And what's the other one called? Orihime puffed out her cheeks. Bankai. Don't treat me like a child, Naruto. Orihime huffed as she glared at the blonde who looked more amused than anything. To him, Orihime's glare was like a kitten trying to look ferocious. Failing spectacularly and looking absolutely adorable. Tatsuki frowned as she remembered a detail about Ichigo's Zanpakuto when they arrived here. Wait. But his sword looks like it always did. That's because due to his better connection, and with Urahara and myself training his spiritual control, he's able to maintain his sword in his sealed state and only unleash when necessary. Though it's still bigger than a normal Zanpakuto. Thanks for explaining that, Ichigo said in a mildly annoyed tone. Now can you guys back away so I can fight? Alright. Just don't lose. Chad said. Of course. Once they heard Ichigo's confidence to win, they began walking back a few feet away from the stone dome. Are you finished? Jidanbu asked. The ginger Shinigami nodded. Yeah. Ready when you are. The gatekeeper smirked. Then prepare yourself. Jidanbu thrust his axe downwards, but Ichigo blocked it with his unsheathed and sealed Zangetsu. What? How can he be so powerful? Jidanbu shouted in his head. He stopped it without releasing his Zanpakuto, Tatsuki said in awe. Ichigo scoffed when he heard his friend's comment. Please, this would be child's play for Zangetsu. The sealed form is enough. Jinabu's shock quickly gave into a hearty laugh. Ha. You're not bad, kiddo. It's been a long time since someone could block my axe. Now then I can finally use strength. He said in excitement as he unsheathed another axe. Good luck, kid. There have been 3 people that could stop my single axe. But none have stopped both. Jidanbu exclaimed as he lunged with both axes, but Ichigo once blocked both axes. Jidanbu was sweating up a storm at what he was seeing. How can you still be standing? Ichigo raised an eyebrow. Are you done? Jidanbu quickly shook his head. No. Feel my strongest attack. Banzai Jiden Damatsuri. As the attack approached, Ichigo crouched down in a battle stance. Sorry, I have to destroy your axes. Crack. And with one mighty swing, Ichigo smashed both of Jidanbu's axes with a single blow. Smash. Suddenly a piece of flying from the axe smashed right onto a certain Quincy's head. You? Orihime shouted in shock as everyone else winced in pain. Ouch. Naruto and Tatsuki said in unison. Damn it, Ichigo. Watch where you throw debris. Learn how to dodge. Jidanbu looked stunned at the handles that were once attached to his axes. Now they were reduced into nothing. You broke my axes. Wahhhhh. The giant gatekeeper. Bawling his eyes out at the loss of his weapons. Ichigo and the others just watched in stunned silence. He's crying. Ichigo finally said. It's like a siren, Tatsuki replied. Quote. Chad and Orihime were still quiet. Pathetic. You snarked. Though that was probably due to the broken axe smacking him into the head. Now I feel like we're bullies, Naruto muttered. Ichigo slowly approached the crying giant. Hey, sorry about that. I didn't mean to destroy your axes. I just wanted to knock them out of your hands. I just got carried away. Apologized awkwardly. Jidanbu turned to Ichigo with tearful puppy eyes. You are such a nice guy. Naruto sweat dropped. Technically true. Though he probably did it because he felt bad for making you cry like that. Ichigo sent his brother a dirty look. Jidanbu finally stood up after several minutes of crying. I have been defeated utterly. Both as a warrior and as a man. I have guarded these gates for 300 years and this first time I have been defeated. You may go inside. I, Jindabu, grant you permission to go through the gates. Really, thanks. Ichigo said in gratitude. Are you really going to let us go? A skeptical you asked. Jidanbu shrugged. Your boss defeated me. I have to let you go. Be boss. Don't be ridiculous. What utter nonsense are you spewing? An incredulous you exclaimed. Chad patted Ryu's shoulder to placate him. No need to get so mad. Besides, I am pretty sure we all agree Naruto or Yuichi is our boss, he said. What's your name? Jidanbu asked the ginger-head Shinigami. My name is Ichigo Kurosaki. Ichigo. Such a lovely name. The gatekeeper said cheerfully. Ichigo's face became as red as a tomato. My name is not lovely. Naruto smirked. Oh. This was always too much fun. Oh. Come on, Berry-chan. It's cute. The blonde teased. Ichigo turned to glare at his brother. I wouldn't be talking fish cake. The smile on Naruto's face dropped as he glared at his brother with veins popping on his forehead. I told you my name means maelstrom. Ichigo gave his brother a smug grin. Annoying, isn't it? Literal sparks were flying between the two as Ichigo's hand was dangerously close to Zangetsu's hilt while Naruto close to summoning his ethereal blades. The rest just sweat dropped at the rising tension between the two brothers. Easy you two, Orihime said as she tried to calm the two brothers down. The two continued to glare at one another before turning away and huffing away. The group just sweat dropped at their actions, while Jidanbu just chuckled at the brother. Antics. I don't know why you want to go through, but the people are here. They are stronger than me. Ichigo and the rest gave him determined looks. We're ready for them. Jidanbu gave them a smirk of acknowledgement. Nice eyes. Now then, let me open the gates. Jidanbu then turned to the wall as he grabbed both ends of the closed gate. You. The giant roared as he raised the gate upwards. Everyone was amazed. Naruto was immediately tense as he felt something was off. Ichigo noticed his brother's odd posture. Before he could ask, he also noticed that Janab looked rather tense as well. Oi, is something wrong? Ichigo called out. Ichigo. Naruto warned his brother. Ichigo was about to ask before his brother pointed in the direction of the opened gate. Ichigo's eyes widened as he realized who was standing there. A Shinigami wearing a white haori with silver hair with the eyes of a fox. A Shinigami captain. You muttered in shock as he and the others tensed up. Ichigo grabbed his Zanpakuto as he glared at the captain. Captain of Squad 3. Jin Ichimaru, he said in a tense tone. Jin tilted his head as he looked at everyone curiously. Oh, you know my name. That's rather interesting, he said in an amused tone. You learn everything you can about who you're invading, Ichigo replied. Jin nodded as if he was a pleased school teacher. Ah, good. At least you were proactive to do your homework. The captain then turned to a certain giant holding the gate. But Jidanbu. Jin began amused before his face contorted into something more malevolent. That's not allowed. Naruto's eyes widened as he quickly called out, Lindworm. Several violet lights shot forward and appeared in front of Jidanbu's arm just as a flash of light slammed into them. Sparks flew everywhere as the light dimmed to show lances blocking a blade from cutting off the giant's arm, but his upper shoulder was still cut open. Jidanbu grunted in pain as Jin looked rather amused by this development. He turned to see the cold, dark glare Naruto was directing towards him. Oh, those are some eyes. Ichigo stepped up as he unsheathed his Zanpakuto. Jin then turned back to Jidanbu. What do you think you're doing? Yoruichi was slightly panicking. Damn, I did not think we would face a captain this soon. And of all the captains we had to face, it had to be Jin Ichimaru. The only ones could have a chance of surviving a fight with him are me, Naruto, and Ichigo. However, Ichigo would not last long due to his inexperience. I just hope Naruto can remember training and not go all berserk. I lost. The Guardian opens the door when he loses. It's only natural. The Guardian explained. Jin smiled as he tilted his head in amusement. What? Tilda, he said in a sing-along tone. What idiotic rule did you get that from? Foolish. You're not supposed to open the gate when you lose. If the Guardian loses, then that means it failed at their duty. All amusement in face and tone died as he gave an ominous smirk to Jidanbu. It means they be executed. Jin was about to strike Jinabu again, but clank. A large Zanpakuto blocked Jin's soul cutter. Oh, Jin said in amusement as he looked into the serious glare Ichigo was giving him. Suddenly Naruto appeared right above Ichigo with his soul eater in hand. Blade B. Jin quickly used Shunpo to dodge the slash as he looked up to see the cold, murderous gaze of the blonde Shinigami. But all that look did was make Jin smirk even wider. Are some cold eyes you have there, Naruto Kurosaki? Ichigo narrowed his eyes. So you know who we are. The captain of Squad 3 looked towards him. Kinda hard not to know about the carrot top head that injured a Jillian. Then there's your brother who killed 3 with a sing attack. Jin waved his hand towards them. Yes. You two are quite famous here. You have quite admirers here, Naruto. Ichigo snorted. He always did attract attention wherever he goes. Jin leaned his sword arm back. But unfortunately, this is where we say goodbye. Ichigo and Naruto felt the immediate rise of Jin's spiritual energy. Zanjetsu, Blade Beam. The two yelled in unison as two massive projections of energy flew towards Captain. Jin smirked as he opened his eyes to show his aquamarine eyes as they quickly shifted red. Shoot to kill. Shinso. Immediately a massively long blade fired off his hilt tore right through the crescent-shaped attacks and headed straight for the brothers. Naruto quickly got in front of his brother and summoned Vexen's weapon of defense. Cold Pride. A blue shield appeared in front of Naruto just as Shinso slammed into it. Shield held strong, but the force of the attack's thrust sent both Naruto and Ichigo off their feet and flying straight into Jidanbu as they went skidding several feet of the ga. Naruto, Ichigo. Everyone shouted in concern. As the gate was closing, Jin gave one last wave to the group. Bye-bye, was the last thing they heard just as the gate closed. Slam. Damn it. Ichigo swore as Naruto grunted in response. You okay? Yoruichi asked as she and the others got back up. Both nodded. Yeah. As they got back on their feet. Sorry, Yuichi. Ichigo and Naruto apologized. The black cat shook his head. No need for that. This was unexpected. I did not think we would face someone like him so soon. Now what? Tatsuki asked. Yoruichi turned to face the empty houses. We talk with them. Suddenly several hundred began to come out of the houses and alleyways. Who are they? You asked. These are the residents of this district of Rukongai. Mister, it's me. A young boy shouted as he waved to Chad. Shibata the parakeet. Naruto's, Ichigo's, and Chad's eyes widen in surprise. Shibata. Chad and Ichigo exclaimed. Naruto whistled. That's a blast from the past. A few hours later, after things had settled down a bit, everyone was strategizing their next course of action. Orihime was currently healing the wounds on Jidanbu's arm. How's Jidanbu? Orihime. Naruto asked. The ginger girl turned from the wound and smiled. He'll be fine. Thankfully you stopped the cut before it went through his entire arm. That would have taken more time. Naruto smirked. Yeah. However, inwardly he was frowning at Orihime's healing ability. That ability of hers feels off. It's not normal healing. Especially since it's much diff from the healing spells she knows. Naruto shook his head. But I can worry about that later. Orihime sighed as she finished the last injuries on the arm. There. All done. She cheered happily. Let's go. Orihime nodded as the two went into the house that everyone was currently in. The house was owned by the elder of this area of the district. The group was discussing the situation they were in after they failed to enter the gate. Security is sure to increase behind the gate, so it's no longer an option for us, Yoruichi explained. I'm guessing the same will occur in the other gates. You guessed. Yes, that and the other gates are at least 10 days away. They are not an option either. So what's the backup plan? Tatsuki asked. Yoruichi gave a small grin. Well, if we can't use the gates, then we will have to get in without them. Elder Dono. If you would be so kind as to direct us to Kukaku Shiba. The elder's eyes widened as sweat began to cover his face. Kukaku Shiba. Don't tell me you plan to use that. Before anyone could ask just what did the elder mean by his statement, a person came flying into the residence. What the hell? Nearly everyone shouted in shock. Did someone just fly in? Is this a break-in? Ichigo asked. Oink. Asterisk. Everyone blinked at the noise they just heard from the doorway. When they turned to see what caused the noise, they all sweat dropped in confusion. Is that a pig? A con? You asked. Does it have a bow? Naruto asked in equal confusion. It looks cute, Orihime said. Ah. The unknown man said as he got back on his feet. I got thrown off my pig again. Yo old man. Long time no see. Ganju. What are you doing here? Go back home. The elder demanded. Yesh. So cold old man. I have come in a while and you already want me gone. What would your guests think? You're the one scaring them. Everyone else thought with massive sweat drops. Ganju then noticed Ichigo, or to be more precise in his attire. Oi, hold on. Ganju took off his goggles as he glared at Ichigo. What's a shitty Shinigami doing here? Naruto then remembered something about the Shiba clan. Oh fuck. I just remembered. Kaiin Shiba died 50 years ago and Rukia took the blame for it even though it was hollow that possessed him and his wife. But Ganju has hated Shinigami ever since. And knowing my brother's temper, they will definitely start throwing punches. Naruto H. Resist the urge of facepalming for forgetting such an important detail. Oi. I asked you a question. Ganju demanded as he grabbed Ichigo by the wham. An annoyed Ichigo slugged the Shiba man as he went flying to the ground, much to nearly everyone's shock. Naruto just groaned from under his face, feeling the headache was going to bring. How dare you hit me? Are you trying to start something? Ganju shouted as he got up and held the cheek that Ichigo struck. That's my line, you pig-riddling barbarian. Who the hell busts into someone's house like that? Elder, who is this man? You asked. The elder sighed. This is Ganju. Ganju then went into an unnecessarily long spiel about the titles that he holds. It would be impress. Not for one glaring flaw. All of his bloody titles are self-declared. Literally everyone in the group screamed mentally. Suddenly Ganju lunged and tackled Ichigo and pushed him right out of the eld. Hut. Ichigo. Orihime cried out as she, Tatsuki, and Ryu rushed out to help him, but were blocked by Ganju's gang. Don't get in the way of our boss teaching a message. One of the goons warned. If you want to get involved, you have to get through us. Everyone sweat dropped as they all noticed a commonality between the goons and Ganju. They're all riding pigs. So long as I live, Shinigami and I will always be their enemies. Ganju declared as he took a large knife, while Chad quickly threw Zangetsu too. Ichigo. Stop Ganju. He is not a bad Shinigami. The elder begged. Ganju gritted his teeth as he glared at the old man. Shut up, old man. There are no good or bad Shinigami. Ganju. The elder said sadly. The others were confused by the conversation, except for Naruto, who merely sighed in annoyance and walked forward to end this childish square. Then tell Ganju, what about Kai and Shiba? Naruto asked. The elder and Ganju's goons all flinched in fear at the forbidden name being mentioned. They turned to see Ganj. Eyes widened before they narrowed in outrage. How dare you? He growled. Naruto matched the glare with his own. No, how dare you? You dare spit and dishonor him in such a way. He would be ashamed of you. You bastard. Ganju was about to lunge at Naruto, but the blonde released a potent amount of his spiritual pressure to stop the Shiba man in his place. Naruto glared at Ganju with an arctic glare. Leave Ganju. Naruto warned coldly as everyone else shivered at his tone. Out of respect for Kaien, I am letting you off with this crap. But do again and I will bring you to Kukaku beaten and bloody. There were a tense few seconds as Naruto and Ganju continued to glare at one another. Suddenly an alarm began to go off. One of the goons took out a large pocket watch. His eyes widened in shock and fear. Boss, it's time. Ganju swore when he heard this. He turned to glare at Ichigo and especially Naruto. We'll finish later, bastard. Ganja got on his pig as he and his goons marched away. Naruto continued to watch them for several more seconds until he was sure they were gone. He sighed as he retracted his spiritual pressure, much to the relief of everyone. Come on, we need to get ready for bed. We have a bit of a walk tomorrow. Yoruichi ordered. As they walked back in, Ichigo decided to ask his brother the question on everyone's mind. Naruto, who was this Kai and Shiba you talked about? The group noticed Yoruk the elder twitch as Naruto sighed. He turned to look at his friends. Short version. Kaien was a Shinigami lieutenant and the older brother of Ganju and Kukaku Shiba. Kaien and his wife got possessed by a hollow and both needed to be Kila fellow Shinigami. Ganju has hated Shinigami ever since. But if that is what happened, then why does he hate the Shinigami? Orihime asked in confusion. Because the Shinigami that brought his body back to his family felt immense guilt for what happened and said she was the one to kill him. Plus the wounds on Kaien all ca. From a sword. So it's not hard to understand why he hates them. But not all Shinigami are the same. Everyone froze as they felt the temperature around Naruto go down as glared at the ground. No, some are much worse. He growled in hatred. The group became concerned. They saw a black aura envelop Naruto. That's enough, Naruto. You are scaring your friends. Xehanort's voice ringed in Naruto's head. The blonde's eyes widened as he closed them and took a big breath, and the aura went back into his body and he took a big sigh. Everyone relaxed as they saw Naruto calm down. Naruto gave everyone an apologetic look. Sorry about that. I got lost in my train of thought. Are you sure you're okay? Ichigo asked. Naruto nodded. Yeah, let's get some shut-eye. The following day. Come on everyone. Yoruichi called as she and the rest of the group walked down the dirt path that led to Kukaku, according to the elder's map and his instructions. This seems pretty far from the village. We're sure this is the right way? Ryu asked as he looked at the rural area they were in. Sure, it all looked peaceful but looked secluded to live in. Though considering what they were planning to do, maybe it was for the best. That's what the map from the elder says, Orihime replied. Kukaku was always the type of person to enjoy the peace and tranquil of solidarity. Plus the house is really recognizable once you see it. Yuichi explained. Yuichi, how close are you to Kukaku? Tatsuki asked. The black cat hummed as she recalled her history with the current Shiba head. You could say we are very old furry. Yuichi blinked as she saw something catch her line of vision. Ah, I can already see. Look over there. Everyone turned to look at the house. Though calling it a house was a bit of a stretch. The house looked normal enough, but the glaring issue was the giant stone hands th. A giant sign that said, Kukaku Shiba. What the fuck? What kind house is that? Ichigo and Ryu exclaimed. No wonder you could recognize it from a glance. It sticks out like a sore thumb. Tatsuki shouted. Oh. Yoruichi said as she ignored everyone's reaction. So this time it's a pair of hands holding the banner. I like it. Wait. It changes each time. Ichigo asked incredulously. Naruto groaned. I'm gonna regret asking, but what were the other themes? Yoruichi hummed. Let's see, there was a pair of legs, a wrestler holding up a trophy belt, and a boy confessing to his crush. Yup, this is the best one so far. The blonde commented. Kinda. The others said with sweat drops. Yoruichi chuckled as they all walked to the house. Suddenly two large guards appeared in front of them. The two looked to be TW. With similar attire. Halt. Who are you, people? Your clothes are very weird. The right guard asks. Two of you look like Shinigami. The left commented. We, Koganehiko and Shiruganehiko, will not let you pass. Leave or you will die. The two said in unison. Most of the group sweat drop at their synchronized speaking while Orihime was clapping in amusement. Yuichi decided to speak up before this amusing interaction went too far. They were here for business after all. Now, we are not here to cause a fight. Why Yoruichi-sama? The two exclaimed in shock. A few minutes later. Please forgive our rudeness. I didn't think these were with Yoruichi-sama. Koganehiko lamented as he and his brother took the group down a flight of stairs to Kukaku. My fault as well. I should have warned about them. You're far too kind. The two said in unison as the group reached the end of the stairs. Koganeshiko walked and knocked on the door. Please wait here a moment, Shiruganehiko said quietly. Suddenly a voice came from the other side of the door. Koganeshiko, is that you? Yes, we have some guests here to see you. Ho. The voice sounded amused. It's rare to have visitors. Send them in quickly. The voice said with authority. Koganehiko flinched. Hi. The door slid open. The room was bright and large, but what got their attention was the person lying on a cushion. The person was a beautiful woman in her late 20s to early 30s. She has green eyes, two thick eyebrows, light pale skin, and even wears bandages over her long messy black hair that parts half at the small of her back. She also wears a white skirt and provocative dark red robe exposing her ample bosom. She is missing her right arm and even has a tattoo on left arm. She wears bandages around her right shoulder and both of her ankles. She also has wooden sandals and a cloak. This was Kukaku Shiba. Well, this is a surprise. Long time no see, Yuichi. Kukaku said with a smirk. Wait, Kukaku's a woman. A stunned group exclaimed. A damn fine woman. Axel said as he and a few others wolf whistled. Roxas, don't stare. Zian chastised as she covered his eyes with her hand. O.W. The key of destiny groaned from the smack he felt as Zian covered his eyes. Damn it, Axel, keep your comments to yourself. A blushing Naruto ordered. Hey, they were your thoughts as well. The fiery red head retorted. Enough, Axel, don't act like a perverted idiot. Sakes ordered. So the brat can be normal. Lerxine said. I wonder how his little Namine will feel. A certain Nocturne teased. It took all of Naruto's training to keep the blush from crawling up his face. Lerxine. Demix piss off. Kukaku blinked as she noticed all the teens with her longtime friend. Who are the kids with you? You've never been the parental type. Yuichi shrugged. Let's just say the years can change a person. Plus the two spike heads are my godsons. Kukaku's eyes widened before looking even more interested. Well, that is certainly a surprise. So why are you here? I doubt this is a social greeting. The black cat's face became serious. You're right. I am here to ask you a favor. I see. Is it complicated? The Shiba head asked. Yoruichi nodded. I believe so. Kukaku hummed. It's been a while since we've had a conversation like this. She gave the group a smirk. So tell me the favor. I enjoy complicated stuff. Yuichi then proceeded to give a rough explanation of what they were doing here and what they were trying to achieve. After hearing the take, Kukaku stayed quiet as she smoked a bit of her pipe. I think I understand the situation. Alright, I accept the job. Ichigo and the others, minus Naruto, looked confused. That quickly. Ichigo couldn't help but ask. Kukaku shrugged. Since it's also from Urahara, I can't really refuse. She then narrowed his eyes. But, I may trust you, Yoruichi. But I don't trust those kids. Godsons or not. So I want to send one of my trusted men to go with you on this mission. Non-negotiable. Of course not. Yuichi replied. Who are you sending with us? You asked. My brother. He's a complete punk, but he's dependable. Everyone in the group paused as they felt they were. Kukaku stood up and walked up to another door. Are you ready? She asked. Why yes. A voice said behind. Now everyone felt their brains tinkling as they were remembering something important. Naruto sighed and mentally counted to the shitstorm. Was about to hit. Kukaku slid the door open to reveal Ganju in rather formal-looking clothing. This is my brother. Hello. My name is Ganju Shiba. Please meet you all. There was an awkward silence as Ganju and Ichigo's group stared at one another. It was this moment everyone remembered when Naruto told them that Ganju was a mem. The Shiba clan. Ganju then noticed Naruto and immediately rose to his feet in anger. You bastard. Kukaku blinked in confusion. Wait, have you met already? Yoruichi's sweat dropped. Something like that. Meanwhile at the Repentance Tower, Rukia was being escorted by Renji and several hooded guards to her new place of residence until her execution. Do you see it, Rukia? That is Sokyuku. That will be used for your execution. The head guard said. May you continue to stare at it until the day of your execution as you think about your sins. The guards began to turn and leave, but a certain Shinigami had not moved. Come, Abarai Fukutecho. However, Renji did not move. Fukutecho. Renji then began to walk forward until he was right behind Rukia. He grabbed her shoulder and leaned in so that he whispered. Her ear. Rukia, there have been reports about some idiots that tried to break into Soul Society through the West Gate. Reports say there were 7 individuals. One of them was Shinigami with a Zanpakuto as long as his body. The other wore a black jacket and had blonde, spiky hair. Both had attempted to fight Ichimaru Taicho. Rukia turned to look at Renji with a stunned look before her eyes sparkled with joy and dare he say, hope. Renji did not dwell on the look too much as he turned around and walked out with the guards. As he trekked back to the Squad 6 barracks. It's been a while since I saw her face brighten up like that. Though I saw her panic when Ichimaru Taicho was mentioned. There's no way the kid could have survived. But, there's his brother. Maybe they made it out. But since they failed the direct approach, what will they try now? Hello, Renji. The lieutenant paused as he turned to see the Squad 5 captain calling him. Aizen Taiko. He asked in confusion. The two walked in a storage room to talk. How long has it been since we've spoken, Renji? I believe the last time was before you transferred to the 6th division, right? Renji nodded. I believe so. Around a decade or so ago. The redhead sighed as he looked at his superior. Aizen Taicho, what exactly did you want to ask me? I guess we should get straight to the point. You were close to Rukia Kuchiki, right? Renji suddenly looked rather flustered. Aizen chuckled. Now, don't be shy, it's just a talk between us. Renji nodded. Yes, sir. Aizen then turned to look out the storage room window. Tell me, Renji, don't you find Rukia's death penalty a little odd? Renji's eyes widened in surprise. Late arrival and unauthorized lending of Shinigami powers. While the latter does warrant some kind of punishment, the death penalty's still a bit excessive. Then there's the immediate retrie and disposal of her physical form. Another oddity. The execution date is set for 25 days and not the usual 35. All of this seems very off. Aizen then turned to look at Renji. It's almost like there's a conspiracy behind all this. Renji was getting rather nervous at where this conversation was going. Aizen Taiko, just what are you trying to say? Aizen paused. Perhaps. Attention to all captains and lieutenants. Attention to all captains and lieutenants. Your presence is required for an emergencmeeting. Renji looked surprised, while Aizen had to suppress the smirk that wanted to curl up his lips. Back at the Shiba residence. Everyone in the room watched with sweat drops as Ganju and Ichigo were having a comical fistfight. You see, the Shiba man tried to lunge at Naruto and get him back for H comment from yesterday. However, Ichigo was not about his brother getting attacked and tackled Ganju into the ground with Naruto trying to break them up, which led to current. Kukaku felt several veins pop on her head as she marched at the two idiots. Enough, you three idiots, she shouted as she slugged all of them into the ground. I don't care what your deal is, but this stops right now, she said with authority. But Oni-sama, Ganju began, only to get smacked with a roundhouse kick to his face. You dare talk back to me? Holy shit, Ichigo and Naruto said in unison before they felt their heads being grabbed as they were lifted up to be at eye level with Kukaku's glare. And you punks, this is home, and if you don't like how I run it, then you can leave, got it? Hi. We're sorry. Kukaku tapped his head. Good. So long as you understand. Your sister's scary, Ichigo muttered. Why yeah, Ganju replied. Naruto just groaned. Dad really underplayed how vicious she can be, he said to himself. Yep, was the unanimous answer of all his spirits. Kukaku nodded as she turned to the group. Alright, everyone. The rest of the group flinched. Why yes. The Shiba head then turned and walked out of the room and down the hallway. Follow me this way. The group followed Kukaku for a few minutes down the hallway until they reached a pair of double doors. She quickly slid them open to reveal a giant cylinder in the middle. The room wrapped in cloth. So what is this going to do? You couldn't help but ask. This is how I am going to send you to the Soul Society, Kukaku explained with a smirk. Through the sky. The sky. Everyone exclaimed as Koganehiko and Shiruganehiko began rolling a wheel as the room began to shake and rise up as the ceiling opened up to reveal the SK. Above. The cloth around the cylinder unwrapped and fell to the ground to reveal that the cylinder was a large cannon. My name is Kukaku Shiba. I am a first-class fireworks master in this place. And now the elder's fear makes total sense now. Shit. Was the unanimous thought of the group. Are you amazed, kids? This is my fireworks station. Kukaku proclaimed. It's called the Kukaku Cannon. Ganju commented. Wham. Who told you to come up here? Kukaku demanded as she slugged her brother. Sorry. Ganju whined. You was not exactly thrilled about their method of transportation and decided to speak up. Quit screwing around. I don't care what kind of master technician you are. You insane trying to shoot us from that thing. We're sure to die ga. The Quincy was cut from his musings as he was hit by a large orb the size of a basketball. Oh. Everyone winced in sympathy. That's gotta hurt, Tatsuki said. And leave a mark, Ichigo replied. It was at that moment that Ichigo noticed what the orb that Ryu was hit by. Oh. A spirit orb. Kukaku nodded. Good, at least you know that much. Now can you demonstrate it to everyone else? Ichigo shrugged. Sure. The ginger-head Shinigami then focused his spiritual energy into the orb as it began to glow. Soon a transparent sphere enveloped his entire body. Wow. Nearly everyone said in unison. Naruto and Yoruichi looked on with proud smirks. I didn't think he would have that much control over spiritual power, Ryu commented. He had seen how much spiritual power Ichigo wields, so it was rather surprising to him having such control over that abundant power in just around 2 weeks. Ichigo rolled his eyes. It was one of the first things Urahara and my brother focused on. They didn't want me to be walking around with a sword in its Shikai state all the time. He explained why he kept control of his sphere. He did not want a repeat of what happened the first time he had this stupid thing. Damn. Everyone said as they looked to see Naruto's smug grin. A few of them were considering maybe getting the blonde Kurosaki to train them once this was over. Kukaku merely shrugged. Well, at least they made my job easier. She then turned to the rest of the group. Now then, the rest of you have some experience with your spiritual power, right? The group nodded. Yes. Good. I expect all of you to practice with the orbs until they are at a passable level. If not, no dinner. Everyone flinched. Gah. No complaints. Move it. The group quickly nodded as they followed Koganehiko and Shiruganehiko to get their own spheres to work on. Hold on. Naruto called out just as everyone left. He quickly walked up to Kukaku as she raised an eyebrow at him. What do you want, brat? She asked. To give you this. Naruto replied as he took an envelope out of his pockets. Now Kukaku was even more confused. What's this, a love letter? Ganju grabbed Naruto by the scruff of his cloak. You dare try to seduce my sister. Wham! Ganju was smacked into the ground by both an annoyed Kukaku and an embarrassed Naruto. It's not a love letter. Naruto shouted with a major blush on his face. The blonde felt his eye twitch from the snickers he hears inside his head. Piss off all of you. That just seemed to make them all laugh in amusement. He sighed as he foku. Back on Kukaku. It's just something I was told to deliver to you. You'll understand once you read it. Kukaku looked skeptical but eventually nodded and took the letter. Naruto nodded as he turned and walked away. Weird kid, Kukaku commented as Ganju walked up to his sister. Let's see. Kukaku began as she took the letter out and began reading it with Ganju reading from her shoulder. Eventually, both finished the letter with wide eyes. H-U-H. Ganju gasped in shock and awe. Kukaku snorted before laughing out loud. Ha 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 ha. No wonder you two couldn't get along. So that resemblance wasn't a coincidence. Man, if they told me this fro beginning, I would have helped automatically. Ganju still looked completely stunned. Uncle Ishin is alive. Kukaku then smacked her brother over her head. Quit gawking and get down there. Yes, ma'am. Ganju saluted as he rushed down. Kukaku looked up to the stars with a wide smirk on her lips. Huh. That bastard uncle gave us some cousins. Saraiti. A few hours later, Captain Meeting Hall. Damn, this is a first ever. Being ordered to wear an armband to a meeting. Renji muttered as he walked to the Captain Hall. Same here. This is a first for me too. Tetsuziman Iba, Lieutenant of Squad 7, said as he wrapped his badge. You think this about the possible invasion? Shuhei Hisagai, Lieutenant of Squad 9, asked. You think a lot of us took that seriously? Rangaku asked in a curious tone. After seeing one injure Amanos and then the brother destroying 3 of them, then there's that warning he gave to Kuichi Taicho and Renji here, it's hard not to believe T will in fact show. Plus there are the reports about what happened at the West Gate. I heard it was Ichimaru Taiko that went to investigate the noises at the West Gate. Everyone flinched in sympathy. Ouch. All of them said. Of all the captains to meet, Rangaku muttered. Do you believe they are still alive? Asked an unfamiliar voice. The group turned to see a dark-haired, fair-skinned female Shinigami asked. Nemu. This is rare to see you here. You usually show up with your captain. Mayuri Taicho went on ahead and told me to come with the other lieutenants, the quiet girl explained. Ken-chan would be pretty mad if they died before he got to fight them. It's all he's been talking about. Yakiru, Lieutenant of Squad 11, said cheerfully. I really hope those guys survived. I really wanted to meet that blonde Kurosaki boy. Rangaku commented with a smirk as a blush appeared on Momo's face. Are you seriously falling for this human you haven't met yet? An incredulous Hisagi asked. Rangaku tilted her head in confusion. Now what makes you say that? Everyone merely sweat-dropped at the response. Considering you have been teasing Momo since we saw that recording and then calling him cute. Renji listed off. The dark-haired blonde shrugged back. It wasn't a lie. Hinamori's entire face was a fiery red. Rangaku. Alright. Can we get back to business, please? Naneo, the lieutenant of the squad of the 8th Squad Division, asked. Everyone eventually calmed down a bit and nodded in agreement. Renji. Momo called out to her old friend. He asked. Have you seen Aizen Taicho? She asked. Renji paused as he thought how he should answer the question. He wasn't sure what to think of his conversation with Aizen in the storage room. He decided to keep that conversation a secret as he did not want to get Aizen for merely making observations and speculations on the odd situation they were. Still, Rennie thought with a frown. The things he said. Why can't I get them out of my head? Renji sighed before turning to look at Hinamori. Nope. Haven't seen him all da. Momo looked rather dejected. He's been acting very strange lately. He won't tell me what's wrong. Plus he keeps going on his own somewhere and won't tell me about it. Said in a depressed tone. Renji patted Momo on the head. I wouldn't worry about it too much. He's probably busy with captain business that he can't involve you in. Let's just focus on the meeting. As Renji said, the lieutenants had reached the doors to the Captain Division meeting hall. Few minutes later, Captain Meeting Hall. We shall now begin this meeting, Yamamoto ordered as he looked at the individual of interest today. 3rd Division Captain, Jin Ichimaru. Well, this must be serious for all the captains and lieutenants to be called for little old me, the fox man replied in amusement. We heard you went after the intruders at the west gate, but you didn't kill them, Yamamoto explained. Jin titled his head in confusion. Oh, they're still alive. My bad, they were tougher than I expected. Especially Naruto and Ichigo Kurosaki. This perked everyone's interest. What can you tell us? Shunsui asked. The Naruto boy managed to react to my attack before it could cut off Jidanbu's arm. He could switch weapons rather quickly. But the look he gave me was interesting. It's same one that Captain Soifun gets on occasion. The look of an assassin. This piqued the captain's interest. That would mean that Naruto was possibly trained by an assassin. The question was who is the number of assassins as good as the Sika squad captain is very small. Is there anything else to report, Ichimaru Taicho? Jin shrugged. They also knew who I was, my rank, and possibly my Zanpakuto. So they really do have someone giving them information. But who could it be? Nearly everyone in the room thought. It was still sloppy for you not to make sure that they were dead. Kenpachi chastised. Era. Maybe I am losing my touch. Or maybe you let me get away on purpose. Mayuri accused in a curt tone. How dull. Here we go again. Toshiro sighed again. Yamamoto slammed his cane to the floor and silenced the entire room. Enough. He bellowed out. You went ahead and acted without permission and failed to capture the targets. That is highly unusual for a captain. I wish to hear your explanations. Well, Ichimaru. Jin just stayed smiling the entire time. I have nothing to say. This caused everyone to look at him in confusion. Yamamoto raised an eyebrow at him. Excuse me. I screwed up. I made a mistake. I am not going to try to cover it up. The head captain nodded. Very well, you shall be punished. Aizen then decided to speak up. Hold on, Ichimaru. Jin turned to the Squad 5 captain. Intruder alert. Intruder alert. Invaders approaching the city. Kenpachi began to gain a savage grin. Intruders. Oh, so they really did keep their promise. Finally, some excitement. The Squad 11 captain shouted as he rushed out. Room with his lieutenant close behind. Kenpachi. Yakiru, wait. Unfortunately, it was too late as the two were already rushing to the location the intruders would enter into. Finally, something interesting happens around here, Kenpachi said in excitement. Are you gonna slice them up? Yup. If they can survive Ichimaru, I want to see them for myself. Back in the captain hall, Yamamoto merely sighed in annoyance. It can't be helped. We shall postpone this meeting as well as Ichimaru's punishment. Return to your defa stations at once. All of the lieutenants quickly rushed out of the room to the ground zero of this impending invasion while the captains all quickly walked out of the room. That alarm came at a rather perfect time for you. Aizen accused. I'm afraid I have no idea what you're talking about. Jin replied. Do you think you can get away with what you did? You shouldn't underestimate me, Jin. Aizen left after those last words with Jin just smiling at his back. All the while, Hitsugaya was just staring at the two of them in suspicion. Creating the barrier for the cannon launcher was pretty simple, and thanks to Ichigo's control, he was able to keep his power in check and not overwhelm everyone else. This was only the first step. Now came the next part. Actually getting in. We're about to crash with the barrier. It can't be helped. Emit spiritual energy as much as you can. Make the spirit ball as hard as can. Yoruichi warned. Let's go, everyone. Naruto ordered. Right. Boom. The large magic sphere slammed into the barrier covering the Seraiti before exploding, and 6 lights flew out into different directions of the Seraiti. Kenpachi smirked. There they go. 6 different beams of light went into several different locations. Then tried to feel out their spiritual power. Now which one is the strong? The Soul Society invasion had officially begun.